As of this morning, the storm has been officially upgraded to a blizzard, and we are expecting snow totals between 18 and 24 inches across the state. For those who are listening, that's reported that in a 24-hour time frame, it could be the single most inches in the state's history, if in fact it comes through as it's projected. Not only are we expecting large amounts of snow, we're also expecting high winds, and we're fully expecting whiteout conditions tomorrow. This is serious. I'll be mentioning how important it is to follow the parking bans later in my short remarks, but I do want to take the opportunity now, because we visited Pawtucket's Public Works today, and when the drivers are out and our cars are in the way, that is dangerous, and dangerous for our drivers that are removing the snow from the streets. We've seen where cars get buried in snow and you don't even know they're there. So please abide by the parking restrictions in your respective communities. As I've said, I've been out and about at the Pawtucket Public Works, and I know that, and on calls with municipal leaders who are around the state of Rhode Island, we just got off one about an hour ago, we know that it's happening in every community, and so local is the best call in terms of telling people what's happening that's of importance in your particular community. Your communities are ready, all 39 cities and towns, and the state is too. So we're ready for this storm, and we also need Rhode Islanders to be ready. That's why you might have heard me say earlier to prepare to stay home and inside your home tomorrow. A short while ago, I signed an emergency declaration for this blizzard. This will position us to potentially access federal resources not only during the storm, but in the cleanup and the recovery after. I'll be discussing this directly with the FEMA Administrator Criswell, right after this press conference. Additionally, I've signed an order banning tractor trailers on the roads beginning at 6 a.m. tomorrow through 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night. That'll be on Saturday. Because of the dangerous conditions and poor visibility expected tomorrow, I've also signed an order banning any motor vehicles traveling on Rhode Island roads beginning 8 a.m. tomorrow morning and lasting at least through 8 a.m. tomorrow evening. So the bottom line is this. The best way to handle this storm is to stay home tomorrow. Let's make sure that we'll get through this, obviously, because we're prepared. Let's make sure we take care of our neighbors and make sure that we are taking care of our families as well. And we stick together, we do good work, and we really rely on the people of the state of Rhode Island to follow the protocols and the directions that will be put forward by our public safety officials, not only in the state but also in the local community. And while you're home, stay informed by tuning into your local news and following our office on social media. We'll be providing updates throughout the day and be accessible to make sure that we're providing you the information that you need. A few other announcements. All RIPTA service will be canceled for tomorrow. All state-run testing and vaccination sites will be closed, and the CCRI Warwick testing site, which is usually open 24 hours a day, will be closed today at 6 p.m. Before I turn it over to our Lieutenant Governor, here's what Rhode Islanders should be doing for the next few hours. Be prepared. If you need some gas in your car, get it in your car. You never know at some point that you really might need it as we clear out the snow. If you need additional groceries or supplies, go out and get them. And keep your phone and smart devices charged. Get your flashlight and batteries ready. And be aware again of those local parking bans for the very reasons I just described It's make sure that we're safe, provide the access to our rescue vehicles and our public safety vehicles, fire trucks. Cars in the way are dangerous for us right now. So please follow your local parking bans. Keep everybody safe. Most importantly, stay off the roads tomorrow. And with that, I'll turn it over to our Lieutenant Governor for her comments, and thank you for your leadership as well, Mr. Sabina.
Thank you. I'm going to make a few remarks in Spanish, but before I do that, I just want to remind everyone that is in need of food or shelter to remember to call the 211 of United Way, and you're going to have access to resources through them. Remember, 211 of United Way, you can call for any access to for food or shelter or any additional information about for tomorrow, anything that you may need. As the governor mentioned, right now, tomorrow was going to be a storm that probably we're going to be talking about it for years to come. So take all the precautions. And I want to thank for this opportunity to say this message also in Spanish to the Spanish community because it's very important. We are in the middle of the storm. Queremos recordarles a todos los ciudadanos del estado de Rhode Island que estamos en el medio de una tormenta histórica. Esta tormenta va a estar acumulándose nieve muy rápido mañana y necesitamos que ustedes estén fuera de las calles. Va a haber un mandato de que no hayan vehículos desde las 8 de la mañana, por lo menos hasta las 8 de la noche. No deben haber vehículos en las carreteras mañana. Tienen que quedarse fuera de las calles, quédense en su casa. Si usted tiene que hacer cualquier diligencia, hágala hoy. Hoy es el día de salir de compras, lo que usted necesite de último momento. Esté atento a las noticias que se van a estar distribuyendo. Esté atento a la información que vamos a estar pasando a través de los medios de comunicación y de las páginas sociales del gobernador y también de mi oficina. Por favor, lo más importante es que usted se quede en su casa mañana. Haga todas sus diligencias hoy, es lo más importante. Si usted necesita ayuda con un lugar, ya sea de calentarse, si no tiene dónde quedarse, si necesita información de alimentos donde usted puede conseguir, llame al 211 del United Way y ahí le va a tener información de cómo puede tener acceso a esos recursos. Nosotros necesitamos que usted entienda, mañana no es el día de salir a ser curiosos y ver qué está pasando. Mañana es el día de usted estar seguro de estar en casa con su familia y asegurarse que su familia esté a salvo en esta tormenta. Denos el tiempo que necesitamos para que el Departamento de Obras Públicas, de Transportación y también la policía puedan hacer su trabajo, limpiar las carreteras. No va a haber servicio de la RIPTA mañana tampoco. Así que estén atentos a la información. Yo voy a estar pasando información en mis medios de comunicación ya a través de Facebook y Twitter en español, dejándoles saber toda esta información también. So, estén seguros, cuiden su familia. Okay? So, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Governor, and I turn it back to the Governor for questions.
Yeah, thank you, Governor. And so we'll take questions, and of course we have our experts here in terms of to answer questions that you may have. Yeah, so I'll let State Police and Mark handle that issue, but certainly we want, if they need to get to work, we're going to provide them the assistance that they would need if it's possible, right? Because we're expecting a fairly large storm. So, but I'll let Mark and the Colonel maybe address that.
Thank you, Governor. We don't put these travel bans in effect lightly, but it is dangerous. It would be extremely dangerous for anyone to get on the highway and travel. So we're requesting the general public to stay off the highways, obviously. You're putting state police, DOT, and rescue vehicles in danger if you do go on the highway. And you will be stopped and summoned. We do understand that there are people who have to go on the highway in emergencies, specifically if there's doctors or nurses that need to get to there. They will be permitted to go, and if they are stopped, they will just advise the police officers that are stopping them of their the nature of their work and where they are going. So this question comes up often, so we are going to be extremely busy. We do not have the capabilities of driving nurses and doctors to and from work. So in the past, we've asked hospitals, nursing homes, and other facilities that do have that type of care to hold over the personnel that they have and do the best they can. On a case-by-case basis, they can call here at Rhode Island Emergency Management and speak to the state police, and if there's a true emergency, we will assist. For example, if there's a doctor who's so specialized that needs to get to a hospital, we would of course assist them to get there. We will be escorting any rescue vehicles, any other emergency vehicles to where they need to go as well.
Chris Kelly, Narragansett Electric President. Thank you for that question. But first of all, National Grid's prepared for this storm, and as part of our emergency response plan, we've been tracking the storm for over a week now, and we have staffed and stood up our incident command center with on the order of 1,000 personnel. Our storm rooms, which are in Providence and North Kingstown, are going to be open 11 o'clock tonight, with the day shift rolling in at about 6 a.m. tomorrow. And to get to your question around external crews, we have staging sites in Lincoln, Warwick, and Portsmouth to cover the north, central, and south of the state for our external crews. There's about 600 plus of those personnel, that 1,000 personnel are saying, are relied on for external linemen and external tree crews. Sure. That's correct. Yeah. So again, one of our staging sites is in Portsmouth, and we're gonna have the crews staged there. Again, we got the north, central, and south covered. And the great thing is, as the storm rolls through and we know what we got, we can then mobilize crews from other parts of the state and Massachusetts back into Rhode Island. Yeah. So there's about 600 personnel out there. It's about 164 crews. So it's about 164 trucks, plus associated digger trucks with that, and 102 tree crews of that. So again, the personnel ends up being about 600 plus, but that's a rough apparatus count for that. Yeah, I guess in support of our police, fire, DPU, DPW, DOT brethren, what we really ask is to give them the space they need to really stay ahead of the snow, stay ahead of any safety concerns that could possibly get in the way, in order to get the playing field ready for National Grid to restore any of the outages. That's a big ask to keep the restoration times down as short as possible. Yeah, so we have a full mutual aid process that allows us to get a hold of crews. Again, we're able to get 600 personnel very easily. We're able to get more. We can also get them from Massachusetts, right? It's National Grid is Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and we have the means to be able to get crews from Massachusetts. Like say the western or a different part of the states don't get hit, we're able to mobilize those crews into Rhode Island.
Yeah, we'll be more specific that tomorrow as we update people, on a regular basis through tomorrow. But I'll let Peter, address, how prepared we are. And I think the way, as I mentioned before, how important it is that, people in Rhode Island really, help and assist us in terms of making sure that we can clear the roads. The communities are ready, the state is ready, but I'll let Peter answer how long it takes to get ready after every foot that we get.
Thanks, Governor. Brian, to your question, how long will it take? We're expecting the snow to end tomorrow night, but This is a major storm, and with the wind and the amount of snow that's going to be on the ground, we're going to get considerable drifting, which means even after the storm, if it stops snowing, it doesn't mean that our work is finished. This has such high intensities, the amount of snow falling, even with the full complement of nearly 500 trucks that we're going to have out there, it's going to get ahead of those trucks. So it's going to have a long tail on the recovery phase of this storm. We expect that that's going to take us into Sunday. We will continue moving and clearing the roads, moving the snow and clearing the roads until it's all gone. But with the wind that we're anticipating and the low temperatures and the consistency of this snow, we expect that after even the storm ends snowing, the wind will blow the snow back into the roads that we just plowed. So we're going to have to go over and over and over again to clear the same roads. But we'll be out there doing that. So it'll be a little longer than your typical storm. Not just because of the sheer amount, 24 inches, but also because of the antecedent weather conditions that we expect to have. Travel ban is for all of Rhode Island. We checked, as a matter of fact, with other states, the adjoining states, and we've coincided the times, for example, on the tractor-trailer bans to coincide with the other states. Yes, we met with the governor, met with the municipalities, and I was on with them. They all understand and didn't have any questions about it. They are, at the time that I spoke with them earlier today, they were all considering them. And I'm sure as we go through the rest of today and into tomorrow, we'll see other states adopting the bans.
Sure, thank you. Appreciate that. So it's not a new role for us to be here and sort of try to be the backbone of the interagency. So the team has a parallel operations center that'll be running in addition to our own liaisons here with the Emergency Management Agency. We've set up some leadership cells in Providence, up in North Main Street, and over in Bristol as well for the East Bay. We have a unit, our 861st Engineer Company, which is really our heavy equipment folks. That's what lends itself for the storm. They are in play for tomorrow morning, and we'll just see. We're obviously in close contact with the group here to see where and if our resources are applied. And I just would share that the missions within the hospital structures, this is excluding the COVID testing and vaccinations that Mark had talked about within the hospitals, those will continue. So those are a primary focus for us as well. So that's how the next 18 hours or so look. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. So it's thank you very much for that metaphor. I haven't heard that one before. Very appreciative of the duct tape. Could use that on a few mouths at work. But the short answer is the team's doing really well. And so I would, and I don't say that without some data. In terms of retention and the feedback that we get for the meaningful work. So it has been a challenging 2 years, but it's been a challenging 2 years for a multitude of agencies. But the team has had an opportunity to really sort of impact Rhode Islanders, and that's been very special. And so the numbers tell us that they want to stay engaged. And I do try to take this opportunity when offered to thank our families and our employers who are, just staunch supporters of the Rhode Islanders and folks from Southern New England that work within our organization. So thanks for that.